You may have heard of heart-brain coherence described as a way to create calm. But coherence is not primarily a feeling or technique, it is a pattern. I'm Dr. Danielle Oyler. On Stress Rewired, we explore the invisible physiological patterns that run your life behind the scenes, and how aligning with the mechanism is the first step toward effective regulation. Today, we are looking at a term that is often misunderstood in the wellness space: coherence. Most explanations focus on what coherence is supposed to produce rather than what is actually happening in the system when it emerges. At a physiological level, the body is composed of multiple oscillating systems: heart rhythm, breathing rhythm, blood pressure regulation, and neural signaling. Each of these systems fluctuates over time. They are not static. They are dynamic and continuously adjusting. The heart, for example, does not beat at a perfectly steady rate. Instead, the timing between beats changes from moment to moment. This is heart rate variability, and this variability is not noise. It reflects how the autonomic nervous system is regulating the body in real time. We can think of this variability as the system searching for the most efficient response to its environment. When we are fragmented, the heart rhythm becomes erratic because the system is constantly searching for a baseline, overcorrecting for every internal and external signal it encounters. This constant search is metabolically expensive. It consumes energy and resources that the body would otherwise use for recovery, cellular repair, and immune function. Coherence refers to a specific pattern within that variability, not the absence of fluctuation, but the organization of it. When the system is coherent, these oscillations begin to align in a more regular and predictable way. The heart rhythm becomes more sinusoidal. A sinusoidal rhythm is a smooth, wave-like pattern. Biologically, this represents a state of maximum efficiency. Rather than searching and overcorrecting, the heart is moving in a predictable cycle. In this state, the noise of the system drops, and the internal conflict between different regulatory branches decreases. The system has stopped searching because it has found its rhythm. This pattern is influenced by the balance and interaction between sympathetic activation, often called fight or flight, and parasympathetic activation, often referred to as rest and digest. But coherence is not simply more parasympathetic activation. It is a coordinated interaction between systems, not a single system dominating. One of the clearest examples of this coordination is respiratory sinus arrhythmia. As you inhale, heart rate increases slightly, and as you exhale, it decreases. This is mediated through vagal pathways. When breathing becomes more rhythmic and stable, this relationship becomes more pronounced. The heart rhythm begins to follow that pattern more consistently. Another important mechanism is the baroreflex. This is a feedback system that constantly monitors pressure in the arteries and adjusts heart rate and vascular tone to regulate blood pressure. When the system is more coherent, the baroreflex operates more efficiently. Adjustments are smoother, less reactive, more predictable. Under stress, this coordination breaks down. Breathing becomes irregular, heart rhythm becomes more erratic, and different regulatory systems begin operating less in sync with each other. Not because they stop functioning, but because they are responding to competing signals. And it's important to understand that it's not just external stress that causes competing signals. When attention and evaluation create an ongoing internal comparison, measuring how you feel against how you think you should feel, the system isn't just processing external demands. It is processing internal discrepancy. And this discrepancy acts as a secondary competing signal. It increases signal complexity. So instead of organizing around a single rhythmic pattern, the heart and nervous system are forced to compete for resources to manage these multiple conflicting inputs. This increase in signal load is what prevents coordination from emerging. The system becomes less organized because it is simply trying to process too much at once. This leads to an important distinction. Coherence is not something you create directly. It is an emergent property. It is what happens when the system is no longer managing competing demands at a high frequency. When internal signaling becomes more stable, coordination across systems becomes possible. So, the system summary: coherence is not a feeling. It is a pattern of organized variability. Your heart is always searching for the most efficient rhythm. Coherence is the state where that search ends because the system has found a stable pattern. As you move forward the next couple of days, notice this. When you are in a quiet environment, is your system actually quiet? Or is it still coordinating around an internal mismatch? Just notice where that signal is coming from. In the next discussion, we'll look more closely at what disrupts this coordination and how common patterns of internal processing can fragment the system even in the absence of external stress. If you're interested in exploring how these patterns shift in practice, this is the focus of my work. How attention, physiology, and regulation interact over time and how that changes through experience. You can find more information through the link in the description.